Are you looking for the best retro handheld? In this video we will look at some of the 4 best retro handheld on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Super Pocket. The Super Pocket is a retro handheld that currently comes in 2 versions, the Taito edition in turquoise and black, and the Capcom edition in yellow and blue. They're small, compact, and stylish, and come with a collection of officially licensed games pre-installed based on the version you purchase. The Taito version features 17 games, including Bubble Bobble, Puzzle Bobble, Space Invaders, and the New Zealand Story, while the Capcom version features 12 games including Street Fighter II, Hyper Fighting, Final Fight, Mega Man, and Captain Commando. Beyond that, you can also expand its library through a wide range of Evercade cartridges, which slot neatly into the back. The Super Pocket predominantly emulates arcade versions of games, and does a pretty good job at it, though, of course, with the resolution and such a small screen, some games fare better than others. The console offers a decent level of customization, such as an easy mode which tweaks the difficulty of built-in games, save slots, and the option to change the display and adjust the presence of scanlens. The speakers on the Super Pocket are surprisingly good, and its build quality is pretty great. However, the size of the console does mean that longer play sessions can be a bit uncomfortable, especially if you have larger hands, and the D-pad and shoulder buttons leave a bit to be desired. However, overall, the Super Pocket is a neat and affordable little console that's easy to pick up and play, and with its officially licensed emulation and unique color patterns, it makes for a great collector's item. At number 2. Nintendo Switch OLED. While it's not an actual retro handheld itself, the Nintendo Switch is easily the best modern console for retro enthusiasts. Plus, we all know the Switch's main draw, the flexibility to either use it as a handheld console or dock it and use it as a home console. It also has a pretty decent battery life, and the option to expand your storage is always welcome, though you'll have to fork out a bit of cash to buy one of the best micro SD cards for Switch for the best results. While its hardware is aging and struggles to keep up with current-gen games, it's more than capable of emulating its wide selection of retro games, whether you're using physical cartridges, CD keys, or Nintendo Switch Online. Of course, you can also use this console to play a lot of other Nintendo exclusives and some amazing indie games, whether you're curled up at home or on a long trip. Unfortunately, Switch emulation and homebrewing is pretty fiddly, though it is possible, and NSO is both a premium subscription service and lacking in a lot of retro classics. However, if you want an easy-to-use console that's flexible and can play both modern and retro games, the Nintendo Switch OLED is a good shout. Of course, the OLED model isn't the only option, there's also the original Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch Lite. If you're wondering which one to get, we've got a comprehensive guide to the best Nintendo Switch console right now. At number 3. Steam Deck. Like the Nintendo Switch, the Steam Deck is a more modern console, but with the ever-growing catalog of compatible games on Steam, you should never run short of brilliant retro titles to explore, as well as heavy hitters like the fabulous Baldur's Gate 3, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, and more. Plus, the Steam sales are well known for great discounts, allowing you to snap up some brilliant games for as little as a few cents. The Steam Deck is a powerful portable PC that can take on just about anything, and offers a lot more flexibility in terms of its game library, modification, and more. However, it does also require a bit more fiddling than some of the other options on this list when you first get it out of the box, and it can be time-consuming to set up emulators or third-party launchers if you want to play games outside of your Steam library. And, of course, there are always those aforementioned Steam sales along with a selection of Steam-approved third-party sites such as Humble Bundle and Green Man Gaming that sell Steam CD keys for a lower price, allowing you to expand your library without spending as much as you would on some of the pricier Switch games or Evercade cartridges. On top of all of these features, the Steam Deck is also a pretty flexible console in terms of peripherals, supporting the use of headsets and controllers, and even allowing you to transform it into a home console with the help of one of these Steam Deck docks. In our Steam Deck review we describe it as an incredible achievement, highlighting that it's hard to find a worthy competitor that offers this many features in such an affordable package. To find out more, be sure to check out our analysis of the Steam Deck specs or our in-depth look at the Nintendo Switch versus Steam Deck. Alternatively, we also have a Steam Deck OLED review where we dive into the performance of the updated model. At number 4. Nintendo DS Lite. The Nintendo DS Lite was one of Nintendo's most popular creations, and for good reason. Not only was it a big driver in touch-based gameplay becoming as popular as it is today, many of the best mobile games have a lot to owe it, but it also had tons of games built around its good old-fashioned button pressing, and also boasts compatibility with the Game Boy Advance's huge back catalog. With all the GBA and DS games to choose from, this is an excellent way to dive into the world of retro gaming. So what games has it got? Well, practically everything, including some true Nintendo classics. One of its launch titles was Super Mario 64 DS and, allowing you to play the original N64 game with the addition of some new characters and levels. That on its own is a slice of history, but then there's also Animal Crossing, Wild World, which put the series on the map, The Legend of Zelda, Spirit Tracks, I don't care what people say, Link has a train, it's great, WarioWare, Touched. Truly one of the most fun touch-based games, Fire Emblem, Shadow Dragon, the game's first official English release, Mario Kart DS, it has so many great tracks, also ROB, and many others. Though Nintendo hasn't always been popular with third-party developers, the DS was one console that had a very wide variety of games on it. Grand Theft Auto, Chinatown Wars was an exclusive, briefly, handheld GTA experience. Final Fantasy III gave a fresh coat of paint to a classic game and brought it to the West. It has a trio of superb Castlevania games, the enticing drama of Phoenix Wright, and still, I barely scratched the surface. Read our list of the best DS games to learn more. You may wonder why I'm specifically recommending the Nintendo DS Lite rather than just the Nintendo DS. Well, as someone who bought the original, then saved up and got the DS Lite as soon as it came out, I think the Lite is the superior model. Aesthetically it's much more pleasing, it fits more easily in your pocket, and it feels more resistant to damage than the original DS. I say this as someone who damaged my original DS, but not my DS Lite. Unfortunately, you may find that a few of the popular DS games are fairly expensive nowadays, especially if you're after Mario or Pokemon games. Having said that, there's still a sizable selection of games that are pretty darn cheap, and you can get a refurbished console itself for a pretty affordable price, too. Starting your collection shouldn't be too hard, but be prepared to accept that some of your favorites won't be easy to find. One last thing to note is that the DS stylus is quite easy to lose. It does slot into the console neatly, but it often starts to become loose over time. If you're buying secondhand, make sure that you're getting a version that has the stylus included, and keep in mind that replacing it might be bothersome.